Okay, so let's try again. My computer shut down. So I drew the first circle, extruded. Second circle, I offset by 1 millimeter. I extruded again by 2 millimeters. And now I'm going to continue. So sketch, we're going to project the geometry. So we start from the geometry we already have. We're going to offset from that geometry out by 2.5 millimeters on each side. Therefore, 5 millimeters extra. We're going to finish. We're going to extrude. And here, I'm going to extrude again for one. I'm going to extrude this time around for only 1 millimeter. So I have to select. Perfect. So this is what it looks like right now. Okay. And the ball bearing will be sitting right here. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to go do the other side. We're going to sketch. We're going to project. Here, what I want to do is I want to create, polygon with 6 sides. You may choose to do 5 sides, or you may choose a square, but I thought polygon was nice. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to just go to the edge of that 5.9, exit. I'm going to extrude just the polygon, and I extruded by 2 millimeters. So I did do a test run on this. That's why I know what I want. So this is the shaft. This is the first thing I want to create. So then you just save it, and so let's save. Oh, shaft 5, let's say. Then I'm going to start a new file. Same thing, standard mills. I'm going to do the other side. So my fingers are on both sides. So create. So now on the other side, I am going to sketch. I'm going to start from the outside circle, which I want it to be the same size as the other one. So if we go on shaft, and I can go here on inspect, measure, and I measure this circle here, and it tells me 4.9 millimeters. So it's the original 7.9 millimeters plus the first offset, which was 1 millimeter on each side. So that makes 9.9, and then an extra 5 millimeters, 2.5 on each side, which brings us to 14.9. We come back here. Sorry, we come back to part 2. So we want to create a circle. So we said 14.9. I say finish. I extrude up by just doing the same thing as on the other side. So this is 1 millimeter. Then I sketch again. And this time around, so I'm going to sketch on this face. I am still going to project the geometry I am going to offset. I'm going to offset inwards by 2.5. So exactly what I did on the other side, just the opposite way. I'm going to finish. I'm going to extrude the same way, the inner circle by 2 millimeters, because that's what I did on the other side. And this is where I'm going to go a little different. So on the other side, I did an hexagon inside a circle of 7.9. But since I want that piece to fit in the piece that I'm creating right now, I'm going to make the circle 8, just to have that 0.1 on each side. Hopefully it's enough. We'll print it and we'll know. It's very small pieces, so it's okay. So again, I'm going to sketch on this edge. I'm going to, this time around, I'm not going to project. I'm going to create a circle starting from the center of 8 millimeters. I'm going to start a polygon of 6. I'm going to go from the center to the edge. I'm going to say finish. This time I'm going to extrude also. But you're going to see, I'm going to extrude the polygon, but I'm not going to join. I'm going to cut. And when I cut, it already knows to go the other way around and actually empty out the spot that I was doing, not just make it bigger. And this time around, I'm not going to do 2 millimeters. I'm going to do 2.1 millimeters. So okay, I'm going to do it 2.1. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to show you here on the shaft. We extruded by 2 millimeters. So here I'm going to make the hole 2.1 millimeters deep. I'm just giving myself a little bit of space. So it's not all the way to the end, but it's almost there. So I have the 2 parts. I'm going to save. I'm going to say Cat 5, save. I leave them all both at the bottom. Not that I have to, but I want to. I'm going to say File, Open, no, not Open, New, Assembly. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to place. I'm going to place shaft that we just created. And there's always a second, so you could put a second and a third and a fourth, but we don't need it, so escape. I'm going to place the cap we just created, so it was cap 5. You see, I tried a few times before recording. And I'm going to put it there, and you can actually see that it fits nice and snug, but I'm going to just place it beside. And again, you have the shadow of the second one. So here you can always take one of the items, and actually you can see that if you click on it and you move it, you can move it anywhere. So I'm going to take on one of them, and I'm going to say grounded, and that means that this piece is not going to move anymore. So I can't move it anymore. It's fixed. But I can still move this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to constrain. And I'm going to constrain, and hopefully I'm not going to mess up. I'm going to constrain like this. And you heard the little click that it constrained. So I put it an insert. So now I'm going to apply. And because the second piece is not grounded, I should be able to move it. So I messed up. So let's do Control Z. I'm going to try again. Constrain. I'm going to keep it this time to mate. And take again the centerpiece. There you go. That's what I had to do. So apply. And then you see I can pick it up and I can move it in and out. So what I've constrained is the axes of the supposed to close that. So now I can move it around and you can see it's coming in. I can also rotate it. So we're going to bring it here and let's save the assembly. So I'm going to call it assembly 5 because we're working on shaft and cap 5. I'm going to still leave it there and then I'm going to make a new assembly. So file, new assembly. I'm going to place on here the ball bearing. And I'm going to place again the assembly we just created of the shaft and the cap, which is assembly 5. Escape. And you see they're not rotating the right way. So we can actually free rotate and rotate this one a little bit. It's sometimes really hard to. I also don't have a mouse. I'm working with my trackpad, which is really not a good idea in Inventor to do. But that's all I have right now. So we're going to try it again. We're going to constrain. We're going to take the shaft, the center part of our shaft with the center part of the ball bearing. Haha, and it worked. We say apply, we close, and then we can move it in and out. And we can rotate it a little bit and move it. And remember that I did the shaft 5.2 millimeters. And I did it on purpose because what I wanted, let me see if I can zoom in properly. Yeah. I wanted to have a little bit of room. So she doesn't have that fine tuning, but you see that there's a little bit of room. So this is the first part we're going to do. So this is where you're going to put your fingers on the center and you're going to be able to rotate the exterior. So now what we have to do is the outside of the ball bearing to make the fidget. And I'm going to do that in a different video. So I'm going to stop sharing and stop recording.